So, loss streaks, something we've all been through. Painful, not very nice to go through, hurt you emotionally. Yeah, I went through one back in May. I didn't stick to my plan and I took 13 losses in a row. Wasn't fun, not gonna lie to you. It really fucks with your head, especially after, most people I'd say after about the 5th loss in a row, you start to think you can't win anymore. Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. I like to compare it to a game called Dota 2, which I used to play a lot of. On Dota 2, I used to get on loss streaks. And when I got on a loss streak, I remember I just had this feeling in my head like it's impossible to win. And that feeling's the exact same in trading when you get on a loss streak. You just feel like you can't win. Normally when you get on a loss streak, I mean, sometimes you are following your plan correctly, but for me, whenever I get on a loss streak that's more than 5 trades long, it's usually, when I look back over it, it's usually because I wasn't following my plan. I was chasing the market, I was just trying to force trades that weren't there. You really need to come up with some form of self-management. I like to use a daily plan, so I fill in this sheet, I'll show it a bit later in the video. It's like a sheet where you write down what levels you're looking at or what areas of the market you're interested in buying and selling at, and you just write them down and then you just stick to that. And if the market doesn't do anything at those levels, you don't trade. You need a way of managing yourself because you are your own biggest enemy in this game. I don't like the word psychology. Like a lot of people say you need to improve your trading psychology, which I don't really agree with, or I just don't like the way they phrase it. I think it's more you need to learn how to manage yourself. Everyone gets days where their read on the market is terrible, or they're tilted. Tilted means kind of you've taken a few losses in a row and you're starting to get a bit frustrated, your face gets hot, and you're just not in the zone. Another thing that's worked for me is taking days off. If I'm taking a lot of losses and I feel like my read on the market's bad, just take a day off. Or if you say you've taken 2 trades in a row and they've lost on the same day and you're starting to feel a bit agitated, just take the day off. Honestly, it's not worth chasing the market trying to make the money back. Just take the day off. Sometimes you might have to take more than 1 day off. Sometimes, I mean, when I took this loss streak back in May, I think, how many? It was 13 trades. So I lost 13 times in a row. And I just had to I went away with my parents on holiday to Italy. And originally I was gonna take my laptop and trade whilst I was there. And I was just like, I just need the time off. I need to come back fresh, just clear mind, because it's too psychologically damaging after a certain point, and you just need some time away from the charts to kind of take a step back and look at what you're doing, because when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to see what you're doing wrong. You have to almost like at the end of the day or a day later review what you've done, and then you can see, was I doing the right thing really? Because at the time you think you are, but you might not be. But yeah, having a plan in advance for the day, that's a major thing, I think. So you definitely want to do that. I'll make a separate video on this, but I think listening to other people as well, just having too much outside opinions and noise, especially if you're following people on Twitter or you're in like, I don't know, like a trading community or like a Discord or whatever. Too much of other people's opinions can really mess with your kind of read on the market, because you might look at the market and have a bias for the day, but then you see a load of people in a group you're in or whatever, and they have the complete opposite view to you, and that doesn't mean that your view is necessarily wrong, but you're now going to think, oh fuck, maybe I'm wrong, maybe what I'm seeing is not actually there, or you might start trying to see what they're seeing, and yeah, it can get really messy. But yeah guys, I mean, I'm just telling you what's worked for me. There'll be people online that different things have worked for them, but for me specifically, what I can say has worked for me is taking a day off, or just cutting the day when if I take 2 losses in a day, or 2 to 3 losses, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll take the rest of the day off. Just because I've never had a day where I take 3 losses, for example, and then I make the money back at the end of the day. I've never had that. I always end up losing more. If I've lost 3 at the start of the day, I'll just lose more if I try and take more trades. But if you're winning, I think you should keep going. I don't think you should bank your wins on like 2 wins. If the market's conducive to you, keep trading, because you obviously have a good read on the market that day. So yeah, the 2 main things is have a plan for the day. So maybe make a checklist. I'll show you the one on screen that I use now. You want to write out what you want to see and where you want to see it and what time of the day you want to see it, and then just stick to that. If it comes up, if your setup shows up, trade it. If it doesn't, stay away. Don't force anything. Secondly, just take time off. If you feel like your read on the market's bad, feel you can't interpret your setup right, or the market just looks a bit weird. Sometimes the market just looks a bit weird. You kind of want to see your setup there, but it just doesn't quite look right. Don't bother, just take the day off. It will save your ass more times than it will help trying to trade it. So it's hard because you can take really bad setups and they can win, and then that can even trick you into taking more of them. Because if every bad setup you took lost, you wouldn't take them. Like after like a few, maybe like 4 of them, you'd be like, okay, that doesn't work, I'm going to stop doing that. But sometimes you get rewarded for trading really badly, and you'll take a terrible setup, which you know is not great, and it'll win, and you'll start to question whether maybe you should take those setups. But in the long run, that's going to be a downfall, and that's going to really ruin any profit you can make in the long run. But yeah, that's my 2-piece on it. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions that you want me to answer, or any videos to make in the future about this, or anything linked to this, just drop a comment. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.